All right, y'all, we are back with another video, and say it ain't so. We already know that Fannie Willis and Jack Smith has been trying to get these speedy trials going on Donald Trump, and it's just not working. It's not. We already know what they trying to do. We seen what Colorado did, Supreme Court, and they kicked Trump off the ballot, which I still feel like it's going to be overturned because there's no way that right there is going to stand. Now, we want to check this one out by Liberal High Mind. He said the Supreme Court just told Jack Smith to pound sand, which means they probably told him to get out the courtroom. We ain't finna do no speedy trials on Donald Trump. See, that's what they trying to do. Everybody's trying to team up on Donald Trump. That's exactly what they trying to do, because we know that Fannie Willis and we know that Jack Smith has been trying to get these speedy trials going to get this man off the ballot. That's exactly what they've been trying to do. And obviously, this Supreme Court wasn't trying to hear, so I definitely want to check this out to see what they had to say when what led up to it. But like I said, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody been showing so much support. Everybody been leaving positive comments in the comment section. I also want to thank everybody that clicked on this video for the very first time. And shout out to the one that always watches the entire video, because when you do that, YouTube will share it so more people can see my reaction, and that right there is what helped the channel grow. And like I said, make sure you hit that like button. That's very, very important as well. But without further ado, y'all, let's dive straight into it, and let's see what the Supreme Court, well, let's see what the reason they told him to go pound sand. Get out of here. You ain't finna try to rush us to do anything. So it seems like that pretty much mean that seemed like that's what the Supreme Court did. So let's see how it all went down, y'all. Let's go.
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind. Good news, everyone.
Yes, I see. Good news, everyone!
Corrupt DOJ goon Jack Smith suffers another massive loss. We're going to add this to the list of L's that these rogue prosecutors have been stacking up. I guess the goalposts are about to shift. I mean, this really was the last Democrat hope for stopping Donald Trump ahead of the 2024 election. Jack Smith's little DC January 6 case, really the last hope of the Democrat Party, the last hope to get one of these indictments or one of these cases to trial ahead of the election, hopefully branding Donald Trump a convicted criminal and convicted felon ahead of voters casting their ballots. And look, Jack Smith has been trying his little heart out to keep his March 4th trial date right ahead of Super Tuesday, but he just got some bad news after attempting to lobby the Supreme Court to expedite Trump's appeal. The Supreme Court essentially just told him to eat a giant bag of you-know-what as they just delayed hearing Trump's appeal, leapfrogging another case ahead of it. Another huge L for the deranged leftist mob. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so this honestly might be the headline of the week. There's a lot of news, most of it legal these days. Everyone right now is talking about the Colorado State Supreme Court decision. That seems to be dominating the news cycle, unsurprisingly. But really, there's not much to that story. I think it's just a massive distraction. It's obviously not going to work. It's going to get BTFO'd by the Supreme Court. I'm more focused on Epstein's flight log that's supposedly going to get released here pretty soon by a UK judge, and I'm more interested in this. Supreme Court to delay Capitol riot case. The U.S. Supreme Court on Monday agreed to delay hearing a case involving the January 2021 riot at the U.S. Capitol building to hear oral arguments regarding a charge of obstructing an official proceeding. Over government opposition, Judge Mehta puts off Oathkeeper Tom Caldwell's long-postponed sentencing yet again, this time because SCOTUS reviewed obstruction of an official proceeding felony. Roger Parloff of Lawfare posted on the X platform, according to Newsweek. Gov may also come to rue this paragraph from its opposition papers, admitting that sentencings of Caldwell's co-defendant Oathkeepers were heavily influenced by their convictions of the same offense, 18 U.S. Code 1512C2, now under review by SCOTUS. The nation's highest court previously confirmed it will hear oral arguments for an appeal regarding the charge of obstruction of an official proceeding. The charge has been utilized in various cases relating to the Capitol riot, including the federal indictment brought by special counsel Jack Smith against former President Donald Trump. The appeal in question is the Fischer versus United States case, where riot defendant Joseph Fischer challenged the obstruction of an official proceeding charge. A ruling against the government in the Fischer case in the Supreme Court could well have a ripple effect in many other Capitol riot cases where the defendants were charged with the same obstruction of justice provision, went to trial as opposed to pleading guilty, and were convicted. Former federal prosecutor Michael McAuliffe previously told the news outlet. A Supreme Court decision culling the obstruction of justice statute could also impact the criminal case against Donald Trump in the U.S. District Court in D.C., but it's less clear when and how at this juncture. Because Fischer could potentially upend hundreds of cases, including Trump's, legal experts said the SCOTUS announcement could give Trump's team further reason to delay the trial, which is scheduled to begin on March 4th, 2024. Former U.S. Attorney Barbara McQuaid explained to Newsweek that the Supreme Court's decision to hear Fischer's case doesn't necessarily delay Trump's case. However, Smith may consider pushing the trial date until after the justices rule to determine the validity of the 2 counts of obstruction against Trump. Even though he has 2 other counts in the indictment, convictions on the obstruction counts could jeopardize the whole case on appeal if a court were later to find that the jury may have relied on evidence of obstruction in reaching its decision, McQuaid told the outlet. Other options are to drop the obstruction counts now and proceed on the other 2 counts, or take his chances with all 4 counts and move forward. Okay, now enough reading. I know sometimes that can get a little bit boring, but really important and really interesting stuff. Jack Smith is facing 2 issues right now. Firstly, his March 4th trial date is completely up in the air. The judge in the case, Judge Chutkan, already paused the trial, awaiting Trump's appeal at the Supreme Court. Well, the more the appeal at the Supreme Court gets delayed, the less likely it is that that March 4th trial date will stand. Trump's legal team is now focused on the appeal rather than the actual case presented by Jack Smith. In other words, they've probably wasted already a month and a half, maybe even longer, focused on this appeal and not on the defense against Jack Smith's charges. This gives Trump's legal team an argument to ask for more time ahead of the trial date to properly prepare and go through all documents and all processes of discovery and document collection. So the March 4 trial date is looking like it's probably not so realistic. It never really was realistic. But now on top of that, Jack Smith has some extra issues because depending on the decision in this Fischer versus the United States case relating to obstruction of an official proceeding, if it turns out that the DOJ interpreted the law incorrectly and charged people incorrectly, well, there enters the possibility of Trump having an appeal angle even after possibly being indicted, because guess what? He's being charged with the exact same thing, 2 counts. So now Jack Smith is left with the decision. Either drop the 2 counts because he isn't confident on the decision the Supreme Court's going to make here, or proceed with all 4 charges and take the risk.
So yeah, that's the thing though. I've said this before. Trump shouldn't even be going through any of this. Look how far Jack Smith is willing to just go to just try to humiliate Donald Trump. That right there just is end goal. Let's humiliate Trump. Let's get this man locked up. That's all they trying to do. All of them teaming up on him. I've said this numerous of times. The crap that him and Fani Willis been doing, even over there in New York too, over there with Letitia James and that corrupt judge. Y'all definitely need to see that video how Letitia James admitted that her and the judge was talking behind the scenes and already came up with what they was going to do to Donald Trump before the case even started. Before the trial started, they had already made their decision. That is unfair. I can't see how both of them are not being locked up. Like, that right there should not stand. So now you got Jack Smith and Fani Willis been trying to push these court dates, trying to get it done, just try to get Donald Trump out of here. So, I mean, this right here is just ridiculous, man. Like, all they doing is just wasting taxpayers' dollars. That's all they doing. Trying to take down one man just because he's winning, man. This is crazy. Look how far people go to try to stop somebody that's winning. Every time they attack Donald Trump, all you doing is helping him. You're helping him in the polls. It's not going to lower his numbers or anything. All it's going to do is constantly backfire every single time y'all do something to him. Every single time y'all do something, it's just going to backfire. So they constantly trying to keep this man in courtrooms, constantly trying to convince these judges to go ahead and get him up out of here. So hopefully Trump just keep doing the same thing he's doing. Just keep delaying it. Keep delaying it, because once he get elected, we're going to see who's going to have the last laugh then. This right here just a load of crap of what Jack Smith and Fani Willis is trying to do. So like I've said before, I'm pretty sure they talking behind the scenes as well, trying to attack Donald Trump, because they both trying to angle for the same thing.
Jack Smith has put himself in a very tough position. Trump's legal team is exercising every option possible for the former president, as they should and as he has the legal right to do. Yep. They're going to keep stalling this thing. I think the more time goes by, the more we follow this story, the less likely it seems that Jack Smith will be successful. I have absolutely no doubt that Jack Smith will be successful in prosecuting Donald Trump in this case. I think it's already a foregone conclusion. In 95% plus Democrat stronghold Washington, D.C., the jury will most likely side with Jack Smith and find Donald Trump guilty. I think Jack Smith obviously knows that, and he's trying desperately to make...
See, exactly. That's the thing I was saying before. It's like these people are already working together. Just like, look at the Colorado Supreme, like the court. It was 4 Democrats that voted against Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? So it always somebody that already don't like Donald Trump gets to rule on whether he get to do this or get kicked off the ballot. It always people that already don't like him. I mean, that right there just ain't fair, you know, for something like that to happen. So it's like some of these people already know, like, they going to win. Like the way Letitia James was smiling because her and the judge had already talked about what they was going to do to Donald Trump before the trial even started. She came out and said it. They had already made their decision before it even started. That's why she was smiling. That's why they judge Arthur Edgar, and that's why he was smiling, because they already know what they was going to do to him. And it's just ridiculous, man. Something need to be did about that.
Make it happen, but I don't know if he's going to be able to pull it off. And honestly, I think even if he pulls it off, I don't know if it's going to accomplish what Democrats think it's going to accomplish. I see 2 likely outcomes. Either they find him guilty and it's this big Democrat hoorah, which then leads to shock, outrage, and dismay from the American public. I think it's going to create absolute chaos. And I'm not even convinced that it leads to Joe Biden winning in 2024. Either that's going to happen, or the case just won't happen ahead of the election at all. And it's pretty much going to be a nothing burger. Trump's going to win, going to grant himself immunity, which I think he should, and it'll end there, and Democrats will probably be crying for 4 years about impeaching, and whatever, will go through 4 years of Trump is literally...
And that was the thing right there, because remember Jack Smith, I think, was trying to get that immunity thing took away from Donald Trump. It's like everything that can work in Trump's favor, Jack Smith is trying to take that away. He don't even want Trump to have immunity. This is how far these people have gone to try to take this man down. They trying any and everything to take Donald Trump down. And I cannot wait until this man get reelected. When Donald Trump get reelected, I am throwing a party. And I'm going to talk my door, so y'all better be there ready for that. I'm telling you now.
Literally Hitler, and we must impeach him now. Either way, I see this whole thing falling apart. I don't see it accomplishing what the Democrats are hoping it accomplishes. And honestly, what I'm really hoping for here is that the Supreme Court makes a decision quickly, and that decision is that President Trump cannot be charged because he is protected by presidential immunity. You know, I think Jack Smith should go down as one of the most controversial prosecutors in American history, because really, no matter the outcome of Jack Smith's little case, his little trial here, whether he gets what he wants or whether he doesn't, whether Trump wins or whether Trump is stopped from winning, the end result is going to be one thing: heightened division, angst, animosity, potential violence, riots. The Biden administration, Merrick Garland's DOJ, Jack Smith are obviously playing with fire here. Jack Smith, in a way, is attempting to play God, putting his dirty thumb on the scale, and that just can't lead to anything positive. We're either headed to further division, chaos, and riots, or we're headed straight to civil war. That's honestly the way that I look at it these days. It seems as though Democrats won't stop escalating until it reaches that point. I hate to say it, but I think that's the sad reality. Nothing will stop these people in their quest for absolute power, even if that means the destruction of the nation. That is what I believe. They will pit you against each other. The classic divide and conquer strategy. Step number 1 is cause chaos and division, and while people are distracted, attempt to grab control by any means necessary. And it seems like the means thus far is election interference, subverting American democracy, federal prosecutors picking who can run for president and who can't, effectively ending democracy as we know it. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you
Shout out to Liberal High, man. Well, dropping yet another video. They pretty much told him, you know what, Jack Smith, just go kick sand, go pound sand, get up out of here. I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure these Supreme Courts, these judges, they getting tired of him and Fannie Willis trying to rush them to go ahead and try to take Trump out. So Trump doing the right thing. Just keep on delaying it. Just keep throwing it off. So that's pretty much what the Supreme Court was saying, though, because what Jack Smith is trying to do is just stupid. But y'all know me, I'm here. I'm going to call out. I'm going to call it out every single time, and I'm not going to hold back at all. Like I said, y'all let me know down below in the comment section what y'all think about all of this. Appreciate you all for watching, especially the ones that stayed to the end. Like I said, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.